You're teasing us without any reason. Suddenly, our little sister appeared out of nowhere. From that evil thing, then what? A deputy. I didn't want it. I said no, I didn't want any trouble. Ah. What now? Give your son your scent, right? But just kiss him on the head and stuff, that's all. It's a time of demand. Nuclear shakes. And it came out broken venom. At that time, the door. And he said, get your hands and feet off the roses, let's go. I said it's a broken venom. And maybe you saw something complete. In front of me, I swear. Our brother was making noise. He broke the bowl. Of course, it's another game. She's sitting. He threw himself on the ground, depending on his money. In that alley. Like you're drawing. From Liza. I released a video underground, Target. I couldn't find someone to write it. We returned to the mode again. Did you ask me? I attended a meeting of administration that betrayed in God. They arrested me, closed, and they must have taken a round. They saw him in that state. The presence of complete terrorists. Or was it in my protection? The one who cares about his head would bring in the roundabout that he sees. Isn't that right? Stop at that moment secretly. Blood was flowing, like a hidden treasure. What was the commotion? Did it stop? Really? Did you enter the lake with someone, right? He slapped me. And maybe he was running with his blood in the middle, and they canceled it. In the middle, under surveillance, and he remained crying. And I realized my mother through my name. Did you hear from Envy? I analyze while I'm afraid in the middle. That's the lake. And the blood, they canceled it. That scene that I thought was in front of me, I had a heart attack. Can I feel it? Did you practice corruption? Can you describe it to me? Can I feel one? A feeling of a strange farewell? I became fixed, not moving, I wish. Even to drink in the morning. From the east on the sun. The first thing I thought about was class. She walked to the roundabout. She had a heart for it. And the dust covered my traces. And I was surprised by the situation. Normal in the roundabout. I mean the vegetables like a baby or something. To what extent? And I was more surprised than I imagined. That microbe from afar. He said space how in front of the door. In the tent. I made the girls in the roundabout faint. They told me they didn't see it. What? 2, in a few days, and I will turn to the roundabout. Once I arrive, I get news from inside. They said that the little people were burnt. They came to learn about her. I had a big feeling. That she was quiet. He measured her with tears. Do you want the country to wake up? Joel Gendarme. I don't know what. It may be an organization. But I knew who it was. I didn't want to say this to anyone. In the psychological state I was living in. My care assistant. It seemed to me from his people. At the same time, he was. But the microbe inside stopped. He told you to adapt, right? In a place, right? I wanted to leave at that moment, to say gendarme. I don't believe it, the first step. He stopped me. And there I turned myself into something. I studied differently. For this lie with you a beast? What if someone didn't know the baby was inside us? Yes. And I was sure in his language that this microbe is his art. Inside the tent? And I remained without the circles that were close. But I was still looking for the roundabouts. For understanding the microbe. This season. I was. Did his snap hit? And he didn't recognize me. You guys, the right moment. And it's about things. The microbe in your hand is going to one business. In a roundabout next to Aya, we advanced to the street light. And for him to discover this tent, Diana. No longer, what is this night? The microbe. Tariq al-Mazika, isn't he Fad al-Alam? But rap class is behind a glass. And when he walks with it to any drink, the one who says I am dividing in your drink. I rolled up his sleeve. And he was bringing me some perfect. So, case Rabia remains, go to the right place. A sound system, your rank, this is the tablet. At this time, I entered the hut with a little. And the view was larger than my hand in height. That, with your demolition, I brought it to the ground and knew what? A barren dollar. I entered. But I came to the door. And the earth's lodging. Engraved in the house. And where's the new poison? However, the wind, the atmosphere is chew. She was generous. I walked. I took hemp. Did you read it in full? Let his mother's generator suffice. And bind my legs. After I walked, I tied my hand with the powder. Which was an assortment. Our brother was the health path food, he didn't feel it. Why do you want a complete doubt, candor? He was a Muslim. Al-Zaid every southern moment, and I pulled the issues of his home. And I cut it from the root. Cancel and run a full roundabout. With him as the Connie standing in front of him. My eyes are red. And shaking. What builds this? I'm sure those are the right goals. House, no. Like her old lady who was strange in the leg. Every moment brought close to its events. And pull it from my heart. Is the telly low? Consult an intention. The moment you want to curse you. And you threaten. Straighten up, we ask him. Shaw cut me? That time and that cry, get red askin' mate. I decided one of her time. Wave. Have you never been a colossal catch? WS. I am Omar, I was as we thought. Do you live in this situation? I'm still small. I have the right to see life. But PC silenced the stages. You honored me. Unkindly, but we live with you in the picture, Mazian. I'm friendly with little monkeys. And tomorrow we go out like spinning dogs. What was hit in your southern hand? Was hit. To the point where he can resist. At that time, I wanted to cut off the tip with the tip of his meat. Record the dizziness of those moments. Friday after him. Behind the tent. Those who swear unjust. They entered it. Law, my feet in the ground. And gifts for about 50 parties. Effort record that micro. Nevertheless, the position only. Every cat in front of them. Their country chalk dial is right. Mill produces his paws. They were completely afraid of me. And just this amount is close. And in front of. You are my little guardian, kicking Mayat's hand. And a genie in his hands. Earth Czar. Did you see them at that moment? This was a name? Annual night, entrance parts. Without face jug, guardian, chivalry. Soothe fledgling. The power is buried in the house, calm down with the promise of that, hen cane? When one thing comes to remind me still. The newborn is on the tip of his tongue. But see where the investigator is shocked. For his full name? I was a year from another elephant land haul, but we put the transport and sensed it. Wipe his tears. Take out those accessories. Pour sympathy with me. He studied about 5 days to research. Indeed, they found the instrument of the crime. Country reverend and microbe. Walid Diala. And know me, but I am honest in my words. My sister, the place of evidence as a means. And eating the prime suspect was that microbe. DOS almost in a Skynet and Comey mast. After the reformist state. Nahar, I entered her for the first time, everything was afraid of me. Everything was der, Adenyansu. Board worth 11 years. What my neighbor committed, you don't want the way. I and a young man in history were all mine in the reformatory. However, it was Darren who came to CO. After about a month, she should check the full amount that I signed. I kept seeing sessions in court. The judge previously entered the association. And thanks to the first and the last, it was to make that investigator. Judge look is a small chick rest. I can't believe a complete scream like this, but in front of his eyes. Dose almost 20 days. On descending. In the end, the lawyer der with the help. Heart of the aforementioned associations. Local or international. As much persuasion judge the necessity that they prepare psychologically. And what are the motives that made me commit this crime? Difficult for anyone? Count it, if there is little left. The judge ordered the verdict, and demanded that officials try. They take me out of the psychological crisis that I am. It was clear who lived in it. I went back to the reformatory, and it was difficult for me to adapt, I don't know. Tash one thing. Sean was with me outside. What was poor Dick? Dir fear them how? What? I got you a microbe. After about 2 months, the official gouache. He says he heard correctional models. It was the face of the Moroccans, in charge was Yuri. Officer Dan came to sit with them. At home.